All right, guys. So in order to effectively set goals, it helps to follow 5 golden rules. The first rule is set goals that motivate you. Second, set SMART goals. Third, you want to set your goals in writing. Fourth, you want to create an action plan. And fifth, and possibly the most important, is you want to stick with it. So let's dig into these a little deeper. So that first golden rule is set goals that motivate you. When you set goals for yourself, it's important that they motivate you. This means making sure that they're important to you and that you find value in achieving them. If you have little interest in the outcome, or they're not relevant to your life, then the chances of you putting in the work to make them happen are very slim. Motivation is key to getting you started in achieving goals. Next, you want to set goals that relate to the high priorities in your life. Without this type of focus, you can end up with far too many goals, leaving you way too little time to devote to each one. Goal achievement requires commitment. So to maximize the likelihood of success, you need to feel a sense of urgency and channel your inner Yoda and have an I must do attitude. When you don't have this, you risk putting off what you need to do to make the goal a reality. This can in turn leave you feeling disappointed and frustrated with yourself, both of which are demotivating. Another tip is just to make sure that your goal is motivating, write down why it's valuable and important to you. So our second golden rule is set SMART goals. I'm sure you guys have probably heard of SMART goals already, but do you always apply the rule? The simple fact is that for goals to be powerful, they should be designed to be SMART. There's many variations of what SMART stands for, but the essence of this is goals should be specific. They should be measurable. They should be attainable, relevant, as well as time-bound. So first, your goal must be clear and well-defined. Vague or generalized goals are unhelpful because they don't provide sufficient direction. Remember, you need goals to show you the way. Make it as easy as you can to get where you want to go by defining precisely where you want to end up. They need to be measurable goals. Include precise amounts, dates, and so on in your goals so that you can measure your degree of success or progress. If your goal is simply defined as to exercise more, how will you know when you've been successful? In 1 month's time, if you manage to work out 1 day per week, or in a year's time when you consistently working out 4 times per week. Without a way to measure your success, you miss out on the celebration that comes with knowing you've actually achieved something. Next, you want to set attainable goals. Make sure that it's possible to achieve the goals you set. If you set a goal that you have no hope of achieving, you will only demoralize yourself. However, it's important to resist the urge to set goals that are too easy. Accomplishing a goal that you didn't have to work hard for can be anticlimactic at best, and can also make you fear setting future meaningful goals that carry a risk of not achieving. By setting realistic yet challenging goals, you hit the balance you need. Next, you want to set relevant goals. These should be relevant to the direction you want your life to take. By keeping goals aligned with this, you'll develop the focus you need to get ahead and do what you want. Then lastly is you want to set time-bound goals. Your goals must have a deadline. Again, this means that you know when you can celebrate success. When you are working on a deadline, your sense of urgency increases and your achievement will come that much quicker. Our third golden rule is set your goals in writing. The physical act of writing down a goal makes it real and tangible. You have no excuse for forgetting about it. As you write, use the word will instead of would like to or might. For example, I will lose 1 pound per week by tracking my calories and eating at a 500 calorie deficit each day for 12 weeks. Not I would like to lose 1 pound per week by tracking my calories each day for 12 weeks. It seems like simple semantics, but the intention behind the word is the most important part. Post your goals in visible places to remind yourself every day of what it is you intend to do. Put them on your walls, desk, computer monitor, bathroom mirror, refrigerator, anywhere you can think of that you see frequently. Your fourth golden rule is make an action plan. This step is often the missing link in the process of goal setting. You get so focused on the outcome that you forget to plan all the steps that are needed along the way. What does your goal require? You're not sure? Research on the internet. Check out a book in the library to determine the requirements. Next, outline the small steps in order of importance. Write out the individual steps and then cross off each one as you complete it, which will allow you to realize that you are making progress towards your ultimate goal. Continue to break down your steps until each step has only one action. This is especially important if your goal is big and demanding or long term. And finally, set a due date. Our fifth golden rule, and possibly the most important, is to stick with it. Remember, goal setting is an ongoing activity, not just a means to an end. Build in reminders to keep yourself on track. Don't allow setbacks to derail your efforts. They will happen, and how you respond to them is most important. Next, block out regular time slots in your schedule periodically to review your goals. Your end destination may remain quite similar over the long term, but the action plan you set for yourself along the way can change significantly. Make sure that the relevance, value, and necessity remain high. Next, let's discuss 5 tips to create lasting habits. First tip is start off small and work up to your goal. Making radical changes is difficult to sustain and likely to result in relapse. Remember, small steps can lead to big changes over time. Second tip, implement scheduling. Make the time. Don't wait until you have the time. Sit down with your schedule and block out a specific time each day. Third tip, find accountability. Share your goals with 1 or 2 other people close to you for motivation, accountability, and even to challenge you to help you reach your goals. Fourth tip, remove barriers. If your goal is to exercise 3 days per week for 30 minutes, but you feel that you do not have the time, surround yourself with options and be flexible. For example, consider working out early in the morning or breaking up your 30 minutes into 3 10-minute walks while at work. Your fifth tip for creating lasting habits is be persistent and prioritize. Remember that repetition deepens habits. If you have a rock solid reason why for a given habit, you will find a way to prioritize it. Setbacks are inevitable. Overcoming them can be difficult. But by avoiding an all or nothing approach, you can help to avoid these setbacks. Say your goal is to work out an hour 5 days a week. It's easy to take the all or nothing approach and skip a session altogether on a given day because you don't have an hour to devote. This thinking is akin to getting a flat tire and slashing the other 3. It's just silly. You need to let good be good enough. Second is keep the positives in mind. Remind yourself of the benefits you are experiencing. Do you have more energy because you are eating less processed foods? Are you enjoying the way you feel when you exercise? Do you feel in control? Who and what is benefiting from the changes that you are making besides you? Third, stay connected. Are there individuals that have helped you to maintain support? Don't be afraid to voice your struggles or perceived barriers to a close friend or family member who can help to motivate you when you feel you need it. And lastly, catch slip-ups early. If you find yourself falling back into old habits, quickly put it behind you and get back on track. Sticking with it is the single most important thing you can do. Setbacks will happen. You've got to find a way to pick yourself up and try again. You're in this for the long haul. So having said that, what will you do next? Will you set a SMART goal? Will you create an action plan? And will you stick with it? Hopefully you choose to do all 3. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you for joining, and be sure to tune in for our future What's What webinar installments. They take place third Thursday of every month at the same time we met today, 8:30 a.m. If you know anyone that would benefit from the info we shared today, direct them to our webpage to view the recording. Our webpage is gepowerstation.com. Thank you guys. Have a good morning.